Hello and welcome to the very first PCSAchieve video blog. Please look out on this channel for further video blogs and screencasts with the same title. Today we are joined with Kirsty Aaron, Assistant Principal and Head of Upper School, and Tab Sandy, Head of Year 11, and myself, Richard Uffendell, Vice Principal. And we're going to talk to you today about revision tips. So Kirsty, any key revision tips that you'd like to share?
The first thing for me is when you are deciding to revise, make sure you remove anything that can distract you. Okay. So obviously that means phones, but also anything else that's going on, like a TV in the background, a radio that's on. Make sure you're somewhere quiet that you can really focus. Otherwise you're setting yourself up right from the off to not get as much out of your session as you need.
Okay, great. Tab, in terms of supporting about mental health or stress-related illness with the students and their revision, is there any key tips that you have on that aspect?
I think go into what Kirsty says about removing distractions. Do the same when it comes to sleep. So get lots of sleep. Make sure you're going to bed early enough that you can get a good 8 hours in, and not trying to go to sleep with electronics and things that are going to take time for your brain to switch off.
Okay. And in terms of revision techniques, actually strategies, do either of you have any key tips in terms of revision strategies that we could use?
I think one of the biggest things for me, and it sounds really silly, but work out what you don't know. It's really easy to decide I'm going to revise something that I know quite well because it makes me feel a little bit confident. But if you're getting full marks on a question all the time, don't waste your time revising that. Revise the things you don't know. And the thing is as well, that might take 20 minutes to do. It might take an hour to do. But don't give yourself that too strict a time frame. If you sit down and say, I am going to revise maths for an hour, that's really difficult to do.
Sure.
And even if you're in a maths lesson, you're never silent working on one thing for an hour. So be really realistic with yourself. If it takes 10 minutes to revise something, brilliant. That's that revised, that's done, move on to the next thing. If it takes an hour, fine. But don't confine yourself. Don't make it more difficult than it needs to be, I suppose. So work out what you don't know and make sure that you revise that for as long as is necessary.
Okay, brilliant.
And I think put rest breaks in there. It's important that you don't try and do, as Miss Aaron said, 2 hours of solid work. Put rest breaks in there. Go and get a drink, go and get a snack, stretch your legs, because your brain will work better if it's allowed time to think about what you've just done and repeat what you've just done. Go and make yourself a cup of tea, think about it, come back. Do you know what it is that you've just seen? And making sure you are taking those rest breaks.
Brilliant. Some really good ideas and techniques there. Something that worked for me when I was at school, which is obviously a long time ago now, with flashcards and mind maps.
Yes.
Did you use anything like that when you were revising for any part of your exams in your past?
Yeah, absolutely. But again, it's about knowing what works best for you. Some people really like to sit down and they just like to write. So they will write down practice questions, they will write down things that they want to remember. For other people, actually doing that doesn't help at all.
Sure.
They need to listen to things. So maybe it is a case of accessing GCSE pod. Maybe it is a case of drawing images instead, creating cue cards. Whatever style suits you, do that. Don't just think, my friend is sat down, they like to write for however long, I'm going to do the same. No, it needs to be personalised for you. Do what works for you.
Excellent.
I'm a writer. I'll happily write an A4 page, but what I then started to do was go through and pick out, and instead of having an A4 page of writing, by the end of it I'd have 5 bullet points of key points of that information. So every time I looked at it, I'd take it down further and further and further, because some of it I could remember and the bits I couldn't, I bullet pointed.
Excellent, brilliant. And revision is key for everybody, not just year 11s, as Kirsty and Tab have said. If we can get it right years 7, 8 and 9 and 10, the foundations are in place going forward. It means that year 11 is a little bit less stressful because the focus isn't just on that last 8, 9 months when you're in school. Get that learning habits right and it makes it a lot easier. A couple of other things that we've given out to our parents and students recently at a Year 11 Success Evening that Kirsty and Tab organised. Firstly was this revision booklet for students. Okay, so if Year 11 students have not got one of these, please come and see any of us three and we can pass this to you. But, and also really important is a parent version. It's not supposed to be read cover to cover. There are key points in there that you might be able to use that would be useful, and feedback we've had from parents has been very, very supportive of these booklets. I just want to say thank you to guests today, and I hope you will join us for future PCSAchieve podcasts, screencasts and video blogs as we try to support you, the students, and engage with our parents. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.